Alright, so today we're going to go over how to do stenciling and masking, okay, for your printmaking. So printmaking is kind of this idea that you're using something to create an image, okay. Ours, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a stencil and a mask to actually create an image, okay. So we're almost like we're transferring an image from something that we created or bought, okay, to something else, okay. This kind of has that. Right. So in here, we're actually going to be making our own stencil and mask, all right, to use in this practice, okay. Now, just to let you know, for the back part of this, all right, for the putting it together, you can definitely go and use items from the printmaking area, all right, to kind of fulfill that assignment, which is absolutely fine. But if you want, you can totally use this as well, all right. So first off, what is this and what are these? All right, so stencil. A stencil is a technique for reproducing designs by passing ink or paint over holes on cardboard, metal, or plastic, by the way, onto a surface, okay? So it basically allows us to make multiple images, all right? A mask, on the other hand, that's on the other page, is basically the cutout, okay? It's something that blocks, okay, or prevents us from, going over a certain spot, okay? So how did I make this? So with this practice sheet, you're going to find a small piece of cardstock, okay? Now, in order to make your stencil, you have a couple of options. You could fold it, cut it out, which is fine. I do have, now in order to make this, I have these punches, okay? I make a whole bunch of different punches, large ones, I have small ones. I just kind of went and punched them out. But to make a mask, all right, you need something obviously a little bit bigger, okay? So if you're cutting something out, okay, you might want to make like a solid shape to be a mask, or it's just something that will cover it, okay? So I'm going to take these, I'm going to put them to the side, all right? So before you start, I want you to make your stencil and a mask, okay? I kind of just using what I cut out of here, right? All right. So a couple of the materials that you're going to need for this, okay? So stencil with a bounce and a brush. All right. So for here, you are going to be using one of these brushes, okay? Now this is kind of like regular round, but they do make stencil brushes. I actually don't have that many right now, but we can use this, which is not a problem. You're going to be putting two colors on here, okay? Because we're going to kind of use two probably a little bit later, all right? This is your magazine paper, all right? So you'll need them. You need a sponge, okay? So in the back, you'll have sponges back there, okay? You're going to have a stencil drawing. So for this, you're going to need something to draw with. So it can be a marker, it can be a colored pencil, it doesn't matter. And dry media. Well, I'm going to show you two different medias that work, okay? So I'm going to show you chalk pastels or soft pastels and oil pastels. So you need at least one of each, okay? All right, so let's get going. Okay, so for our stencil, all right, I'm going to take this. First thing we're going to learn is about the bounce, okay? The bounce is not anything huge. It's not like bouncing a ball. It's just taking your brush, and you're going to just be kind of bouncing your brush. It's not like smashing it and grinding it in, okay? It's just a nice light tap. So I'm going to take my paintbrush, and I'm just using just a teeny bit, okay? Like tapping it around like that. And all you're going to do is you're just going to, yep, you got it, bounce all around. All right, the reason that we're doing this is because as you can see the little spot right here, okay, that's really teeny. And if I'm smushing around, I might end up moving it. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to try to fill this in. All right, there we are. Let's see. Fill that all the way through. Peel it back. Not bad, right? All right, so let's go to this next one. This kind of gives it a really cool look as well. Next one is sponge. Now, by the way, don't forget, you definitely want to wash these off, all right? Don't leave that way. Sponge. Okay, so the sponge may be dirty, and that's absolutely okay. Honestly, they're it's a sponge. It's going to hold up the color anyway. All right. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a little bit. All right. You're just going to, yep, same kind of deal. Bounce it. All right. This gives a different kind of texture, different kind of look than the actual brush. All right. You go through. You might want it to like fade out. That's kind of like a cool look as well. All right. So let's go through. Oh, kind of getting light. That might be a look you're looking for. All right. Let's pull it off. Not so bad, right? You definitely tell that it looks different between the two. Okay. Now the next one, you might need to have this dry a little bit, but you can use it for the drawing ones, right? So for stencils, a lot of us know stencils are great for just tracing. So I'm going to use my pencil, and so I'm just going to trace my stencil. You might say, you know what, I want my project to have a drawn element in it, a repeated drawing element, and you can definitely do that. I'm going to change this up and I'm going to go to my marker. You can keep the one the same. There we go. Alright, now how this might look cool, maybe if you had letters or something and you want them to be all perfect, you could chase out the letters and you could definitely, you know, spell out something. Maybe you want to spell out I love art. You never know. It might be something that you want to put in your project. Okay, so let's see. Not so bad. Pretty cool. Alright, so on to our last one. Dry media. Okay, this is kind of a neat one. So with stencils, okay, and this kind of only really works with the cardstock stencils, okay, not so much with my what are they called, the plastic ones that I have here. Its reason being is because this has a surface that can be applied. So if I take this, okay, and I put this around, alright, now this is definitely where the stencil is going to get a little messy. So I'm going to apply this media, and by the way, whatever media can mush, the best way to put it, can be smudged, that works the best, okay? So this one definitely mushes, or it blends, okay? That looks really cool. Let's grab a chalk pastel, okay? I'm going to put this on this side. Oops, that has wet paint. I'm going to avoid that. Push that down. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up. Really neat, right? I know, like crazy. All right, so that's a stencil. So a stencil, you know, covers some areas and it's able to repeat. Now, by the way, with stencils, I could go over multiple times and it's going to look really, really cool, okay? Right now, it's just one image, but I think it'd be really cool if I did this multiple times. All right, so stenciling is pretty cool. All right, let's flip the page. By now, all the stuff up here should be dry because you don't want to gunk up the page. Mask. All right, so a mask is something that you create to cover an area. Okay, it says over here, masking is used as other materials to protect areas from being changed or to focus on a silhouette area. So, for example, if you kind of look over here, so the mask right here was this leaf. Okay, that was placed down. Like clearly you can see through and you have other areas underneath that kind of like are getting exposed or highlighted. Okay, so let's go through. Same kind of deal. Let's go back to this. Bounce all the way around. By the way, you can do a couple of things. So if you want, you could fade this out. Okay, you could have it solid. How do we fade it? You just get lighter and lighter and lighter as you kind of go out. Woo, I need to go through. There we go. All right. Not bad. Ready? Let's pick this up. Whoa, cool. All right, let's go to the sponge. Not going to need a lot here. All right, because I already have like a lot here. Sponge, different effect, okay? So here, all right, I'm going to have not so much paint on here. All right, so it's going to give like a softer look, which is kind of neat. If I want a lot of paint on it, it's going to obviously gunk it up a little bit more. So I'll put some more paint on. All right, and if you want it to fade out, kind of same thing, have it just like kind of fade out. All right, let's pull this puppy up. Nice. So if I actually had designs under here, like let's say I wanted to do like really cool drawing underneath, and I then said, all right, on top of it, I wanted a silhouette of a tree. Okay, so I put my tree on top, and I put my sponge effect on it, and all of the tree has all these designs. Like, awesome! All right. Masks are great for, yep, you got it, tracing as well, okay? Just kind of use those almost like as a stencil, like you're like, I really want this outline to be perfect, okay? And how do we possibly use this? Well, you know what? If you have a stencil and you made a whole bunch of this, like the stencil going around, maybe you just want some outlines around. There we go. Like, that's pretty gnarly. Dry media. So by now, that should be finished. Okay, so let's do half of oil pastel and half of the other one. Alright, so let's put that here. Oh, that's good. Alright. Brush that out. Kind of looks like it's radiating. Isn't it so cool? Love it. Put that a little bit here. Put some here. Whoops. Right here. Okay, let's line that back up. Really cool effect. Oh, I should probably put a bit more chalk on. So neat, right? Yes. Okay, so what we're going to do, all right, is we're going to take these two techniques. Now, what can you do with this? All right, so that's a great question. So putting it together, so in the back, so this is what it could possibly look like, okay? So in the grand scheme of things, you're like, what am I doing with this? Well, you can layer it up so it looks really awesome, more of like, kind of like a non-objective kind of piece of artwork. And you're like, what's that? It's a picture that's more of about a design, okay? Not worried about one image. Or it could be, okay, the background to like a mixed media project. Or it could be like a design that you create in the back, and then you do all these different things, and you take a large mask, cover the whole area, and then you have like this image that's kind of being highlighted, which is awesome. All right, so what am I supposed to do on this back? It says create a piece of artwork that includes layers, layering 2 different stencils and 1 mask. So you have the option. You may make a new one, okay, and, you know, kind of place them all in different places, or you may go over to the printmaking area and you may choose one of the stencils and use them, okay, but you need 2 different ones, all right? Honestly, it does not matter. These, when you're done, get thrown away, okay? But if you're borrowing one of mine, you have to wash it, okay? Use light and dark colors, all right? So if I was doing this, okay. So let's say I had this. I went through and I added all this. So I went here. I did, you know, and by the way, you can use any method, okay? It's kind of like up to you on what it looks like. All right. Last thing, go off the edge. You're like, what is that? What does that mean? It says fill the space and go off the edge. Go off the edge. So here's my edge. Make it look like it's going off the edge. You don't necessarily need everything go to like, you know, just stuck in the middle. Pretend that border is that, okay? So let's see, what could I do? I could probably do like here. Okay. You're like, no crazy way. I know, look at that. I used 1 stencil and it had 2 different types of things on it. Okay. 2 different colors, light and dark. Pretty cool, right? You're like, yes, that is cool. Alright, last thing. What did I need to do? I need 1 mask. Okay, so here. So I could do any of them. I could, you know, let's do this. Cool, right? And you can do it however you want. You like this technique, do this technique. If you like the one with the dry where it looks like it's a sunburst, go for it. It doesn't really matter, okay? Oh, this looks so cool. All right, so remember in here, oops, kind of came out. That's like pretty cool looking art. Man, I'd be even wild and just put that there. Ha! It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, when you're done, just make sure you clean up everything. By the way, if you have a lot of paint left over, do me a favor, scoop it back into the container. If not, just throw this away, okay? This needs to be washed, and remember when you wash stuff, you're gonna wash it in your hand with hot water, okay? Make sure this is all cleaned. And here, I want you to be able to, when you wash this, run it under water, and I want you to scrunch it until no more paint comes out. This is gonna look dirty, but the reason why I want you to do it is because we're not going to be able to tell if it's out until it's all running through, okay? And by the way, I can also tell if this is not totally clean because this will get rock hard, okay? All right, and that is it. That is for masking and stenciling.